Welcome to this video where I'm going to explain and demonstrate how I'm planning on teaching one of the new songs from the Hymns for Home and Church collection in primary. So this is As I Keep the Sabbath Day, and I think it's a really beautiful song to help our children really come to understand how important the Sabbath is and what we can do on the Sabbath. So I've decided to do this one with actions because I think that it still just helped to convey the message well. And what I've done is I've done posters with the words, but also then action prompts, so just pictures to guide them with what the actions should be. I spent actually quite a lot of time thinking about how to teach the song because it didn't have really an obvious way to teach it. And yeah, it took me a while, but then as I sat thinking about it and I prayed about it, these actions just came to my mind. So this was how I felt the Lord wants me to teach this to my children in primary, and maybe it'll help you in your primary as well. So the first line is then, gentle peace warms my soul. So I thought just to do this gentle hand movement, almost like snow falling, I suppose you could say, but this is the peace that descends down on us. So gentle peace warms my soul. So this hugging themselves, holding themselves is like their soul. It's not quite the best, but just to kind of get that across. When the Sabbath comes again. So for the day, we're just going to do, like, you can do your hands just going around as a day. And this is the Sabbath coming once a week, and we've got the days that are coming. So these various things, it's the Sabbath day, sunrise to sunset, and it's coming around week by week. So that kind of motion for each one. I can worship and renew. So for worship, I was starting to figure out what action to do, but then I thought if we just do this worshipful, in our church, we don't generally do this kind of hand motion for our praise and worship, but it's certainly one that is done in other Christian faiths. And yeah, I think that it is appropriate to be saying we're worshiping God like that. Sacred covenants with Him. So we're renewing sacred covenants with Him. So here, this is definitely a much more Latter-day Saint hand motion, but putting your hand up to the square for the covenants that we're making. And then for the chorus, it says, on this day of peace and rest. So now we're going to combine this action for day, which is the circle going around, and the peace. So we can do this finger motion, peaceful finger motion going around. So just try and help them feel like this should be a different day. It should be a day where we're feeling this peace and rest. I will give the Lord my best. So our hands in like an offering motion. And His love will light my way. So you can pretend you're holding a lantern up that's giving light. And then the last line, as I keep the Sabbath day. So you can do like we're keeping this precious gift that we have, and you can do your hands clasped in that keeping motion for going around for the day. So the day is this day of peace and rest. We're going to keep the Sabbath day. So we do the day in various ways. Then we get to the second verse. As I pray, serve and sing. So you can do praying hands and then singing like that. I give gratitude to the Lord, so we're giving Him, and we can have our hands going up, we're giving gratitude to the Lord. Humbly take the sacrament, so we have a piece of bread and then a piece of cup of water that we're drinking, so taking the sacrament. Gladly hear His holy word. And then we've got the chorus again, and then the third verse, through this day I will live. So here we just do our hands going around for the day, that His Spirit may come and stay. So the Spirit coming down and then it's staying with us. Make the Sabbath a delight. So try and get a really nice big smile on your face, and we're smiling. This is a delight. We are definitely making it a delight. Precious gift. So again, this precious gift that we're keeping because it is precious to us. Precious gift, the Lord's own day, and then we point up to heaven again for the Lord. So I hope these actions will be meaningful and help the children to really engage with the meaning. As I said, I felt inspired as I was putting together these actions. I did take quite a long time to figure out how to teach the song, but I knew I wanted to teach it, and so I was so grateful when that inspiration did come. And yeah, I hope it helps you with your primary as well.
Gentle peace warms my soul.